Hi, everybody. This is Dave,
I'm Shay.
and we're going to talk today about one of my favorite terms, Myoho.
I think it's a lot of people's favorite word in all of Nichiren Buddhism.
And if it's not, I think it should be. Anyway,
It's a popular word.
it is. We hopefully are going to make it even more popular. And so are you, because we're going to convince you. But anyway, I don't.
And then you're going to tell other people about it, and they're going to be really excited about it too.
This is exciting the way you were explaining. Never happened, but anyway. Myoho, why is this exciting? One definition of Myoho is to open. And we're going to talk about other definitions probably in the course of this. But to open specifically relates to open up your spiritual condition and find the condition of Buddhahood within yourself. Like as in this lifetime, as within, like as in now.
Yeah.
So, what's your, take on to open? You can think about it in a million different ways.
Well, that's my take on it, is you sit before the koans and you're reciting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, and you're seeing within yourself this whole other world, like of the 10 worlds, actually,
Right.
Open up that you've never seen before. It's like a whole door opening and the sunshine, beaming through, and you're going, oh my gosh, there's this whole other universe in here that I've never seen before.
That's why when people start practicing, even their friends are like, what has changed about you?
Yeah.
You got a haircut or?
Yeah, and they can't put their finger on it.
It's your life condition.
They're seeing.
Condition of Buddhahood is getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah. So, moving on. We've done this so many times. The next thing to talk about is the philosophy of this is a little bit drier, but I think it's still interesting because it's totally different, totally unique to all other ways of looking at religion and spirituality.
Even compared to other forms of Buddhism. It is.
It is. And so, sorry, did I interrupt you?
No.
So the literal definition that you hear from all the Nichiren, we don't speak Japanese, so we assume it's true, from all the Nichiren Buddhists is mystic law. But I think that this is a misleading term, because I think when theists hear the term mystic, and in our culture in general, they think of something sort of out there, some floaty stuff out there that can't be defined or described. But in reality, in Nichiren Buddhism, the term mystic specifically refers to the 10 worlds and the 10 factors, which I'll explain, and sort of the mystical aspect of those things in life which are non-physical, but specific things, not just anything. We're not talking about specifically, unless you extrapolate maybe ESP or particularly God, spirits inside of you, mysterious phenomena, chupacabras, I don't know, whatever you might think. We're not talking about any of that stuff. We're talking specifically about the 10 worlds and the 10 factors. And so the 10 worlds, if people don't know, maybe people are listening to this and they're not Buddhists, or they're hearing this for the first time. The 10 worlds are conditions of life in our Buddhism. They're conditions of life within us, like sadness, happiness, anger, and they are specifically, I'm sure this doesn't cover all the conditions of life, but it's a theory. Hell, hunger, animality, anger, tranquility, rapture, learning, realization, Bodhisattva, and Buddhahood. Did I miss any?
I don't think so.
Okay, so
we need to make a song.
Yeah, there's no song. Hell, hunger, animality, anger.
What the two viewers just left.
Probably so. No, stop the pain.
We promise this episode we won't sing
anymore. That's it. Okay. So, in other forms of Buddhism, I hate to be the one talking all the time.
You're doing a good job.
Okay, well, in other forms of Buddhism prior to Tiantai and then Nichiren, hell, hunger, animality, anger, they were actually literally kind of worlds. It was mythology.
And, because it did that, it put it outside of the practitioner's self, whatever self meant. And it's no wonder that they then didn't believe in becoming a Buddha in this lifetime.
That's
so
the real,
it's really
problem
important,
with it.
Really crucial. And, other Buddhists have a hard time with the question even, can you become a Buddha in one lifetime? But, Tiantai and Nichiren and Daishonin were, two of the first to say, hey, with this framework, you can find the Buddhahood within yourself in one lifetime.
Right.
It's a big deal.
It was at the time.
It is.
It is. But I mean, other people have adopted the same thing. But at that time, it wasn't. It was just them.
Yeah, they stole. That's good enough.
That's like way off. But okay, so the second part of that is the 10 factors, which actually is actually in the Lotus Sutra, believe it or not. Yeah. There are things not in the Lotus Sutra. Okay. The 10 factors actually from the Lotus Sutra. I'm going to read this from the Expedient Means chapter. If you do Gongyo, I don't know that everyone knows this. At the end of Gongyo, you recite, or not the end of Gongyo, but the end of the first, the Hoben chapter, the first part A that you do. You recite this thing 3 times over and over. And that part that you recite 3 times, Nyose so, Nyose sho, Nyose, that's the 10 factors. Right. It's that important to Buddhism that they stopped there. They stopped the Expedient Means chapter recitation right there, and they have you recite it 3 times. That's how important it is.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but who cares what I believe?
Nobody, we think you should carry on with the Expedient Means chapter, but they obviously think this is the most important thing, and it maybe is it's very important, anyway, key to Nichiren Buddhism. And this is what it says. The true entity of all phenomena can only be understood and shared between Buddhas. So we're talking about the true entity of all phenomena. This reality consists of, and here's the 10 factors, appearance, nature, entity, power, influence, inherent cause, relation, latent effect, manifest effect, and their consistency from beginning to end. That's the 10. Now, appearance is physical things that you can see. You can see us here on the screen and see what we look like, and the screen itself, physical. Nature, entity, power, influence. These are all things that are essentially what we would call spiritual. In Buddhism, this is Buddhist spirituality right here. Your nature, your entity, the power you have, your influence. It's the nebulous things about you, the ineffable things.
It's like when you certain people walk into a room, and without them having said anything, the mood of the room instantly changes due to the power or something of the life condition. It may not be true.
I don't think that's what it's talking about, but that could be true. But anyway, it's kind of like oh sure, I lost it now.
No.
Hold on. Okay. Right here, I have a quote from Nichiren. It's an important passage from the Gosho. It is talking about the Gohonzon becoming a Buddha. How does a Gohonzon become a Buddha? Primarily, that's the topic of this Gosho. It says, secondly, a person gives voice to his own thoughts. In this way, what he truly has in mind manifests in his voice. The mind represents the law of spiritual manifestation, and the voice, the law of physical manifestation. So, the spiritual self is that which makes us up, or that which makes something up. And it's expressed in the physical manifestation. So everything we're saying is the physical aspect of our spirituality, is going out there into the universe, into this video, into your brain, because you're hearing it. And the little sound waves are physical, but what's happening, the things that are not seen, is the spiritual element that are definitely happening. We're having an effect on you, hopefully positively.
Yes.
And that effect is the spiritual self, the spiritual nature of what we're saying. And the words themselves are the physical nature. So I was thinking I should say something else about that, but no, I don't remember what it is. So anyway,
I'll come back to you.
I also want to read this quote from Nichiren because I think it's very clear. The more you read it, this is from On Attaining Buddhahood in this lifetime.
Passage.
And if you haven't read On Attaining Buddha in this lifetime, you should read it 5,000 times because it gets deeper every time. Read it, chant, read it, chant, and so forth for your entire life. Because because it just gets deeper. The more you think about it, the more you realize it, you learn about your own spirituality from it. If you
apply it with your chanting, and it just becomes more real.
But anyway, here's Nichiren's definition of Myoho from On Attaining Buddha in this lifetime. What then does Myoho signify? It is simply the mysterious nature of our life from moment to moment, which the mind cannot comprehend or words express. When we look into our own mind at any moment, we perceive neither color nor form to verify that it exists, yet we still cannot say that it does not exist, for many differing thoughts continually occur. The mind cannot be considered either to exist or not to exist. Life is indeed an elusive reality that transcends both the words and concepts of existence and non-existence, yet exhibits the qualities of both. It is the mystic entity of the middle way that is the ultimate reality. Myo is the name given to the mystic nature of life, and Ho to its manifestations. So,
deep subject.
So
really clear though.
Yeah. So when you put the 10 factors and the 10 worlds together, we're talking about, when we talk about spirituality, we're not talking about gods. We're not talking about like this soul inside that floats off when you die. We're talking about the condition within you, your spiritual condition, your 10 worlds and 10 factors, your life condition, which refers to the 10 worlds, sadness, anger, and particularly Buddhahood, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to attain Buddhahood, and we're using these concepts to look at how do I attain Buddhahood. So if you look at it like that, like these 10 worlds are my spiritual self, and the influence I have on others, and the power I have as a person, and what I can do, these are all spiritual aspects of who I am.
Right.
And then we look within to enhance our spiritual nature and become Buddhas. And the thing is, Nichiren says in the Gosho, actually this very Gosho that I said to read 5,000 times, you can't attain Buddhahood by looking outside of yourself. You can't do it.
Right.
It doesn't matter. And if you try to do it, he calls it an inferior teaching. You're not practicing this teaching. And the reason it's so crucial is because if you're looking outside yourself, you're not focusing on what you need to focus on to become a Buddha inside of you. You need to be thinking, focusing your mind on your internal spiritual condition and your development toward Buddhahood in order to become a Buddha. As you chant, you're chanting, and this is what you should be thinking in your mind is, I'm chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, which is about me becoming a Buddha. The whole philosophy is about that. I'm chanting to the Gohonzon, which is a Buddha, and I'm thinking about how do I pull my life condition to Buddhahood. It's within me. And if you're thinking, oh God, out there, I need you to come to me and make me a Buddha and make these realizations happening, your mind is not properly focused on you developing reaching toward Buddhahood yourself inside.
Exactly. That's well put.
So that's why it's so important, this Myoho.
And you, as a listener, watcher of what we're talking about here, have to, I think, or I'd like you to self-assess. And as Shay just explained, and Nichiren said in that writing on attaining Buddhahood, are you going to be able to look within yourself, or are you going to automatically, because of a lifetime of training of looking for God outside yourself, be unable to even begin your Buddhist practice? It's a good question. I know which answer I'm hoping for.
Well, I think if you know you're supposed to be looking within, you'll do that more. Hopefully you'll try to do that more and more and resist the temptation to look outside yourself from past spiritual training.
And we want you to have a lot of aha moments, discovering how you yourself are changing spiritually because of your Buddhist practice.
Yeah, not intellectual ahas. That's learning and realization.
Right.
Which we are totally familiar with. If you see this video, it's a lot of that.
Yeah.
But not the intellectual ahas, the internal spiritual ahas of seeing a spiritual condition, something ineffable within you, feeling different.
It's ineffable.
We can't talk about it. I think it's actually against the rules.
No, it's against our ability to do so.
Probably.
No rules.
Probably is anyway.
So that's a big hunk to chew on.
All right. So I think we did better with that one, huh?
I hope so.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, see you next time.